been duly called, and the notice of the meeting was posted in time and manner required. Invocation, Mr. McCurry.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for letting everyone alive and safe today for this meeting. Lord, please let this meeting go as the way it's wanted to go. In Jesus' name I pray. Let's say amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, no one signed up for public comment and reports.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh. Good evening. All right. We got a long agenda, so I'll go through my update as quick as I can without brushing over anything. Gym update. Gym is pretty much complete. Little last finishing touches. Paul went in this morning, got the bulldog lit up the way it's supposed to be. Looks great. The one thing we haven't done, backboards just came in. So the side backboards, the old wooden backboards that have been there since '87 when we started, are coming down. We'll get the new backboards up ASAP, new backboards and rims, and get the gold standards cleaned, and it'll be awesome. And if you haven't had a peek in there yet, it's worth it. Band hall update. Our maintenance crew finished out the band hall. Carpet and ceiling tiles have been replaced in the office and in all the side rooms. The cover base throughout the band hall has been replaced, and the maintenance crew also built out shelves in the main part of the band hall. The move update. All right, so just kind of a quick overview of everything we did. So at the middle school, 4th grade got completely moved. Half of the old sped office was converted back into a classroom. The crew had to re-wall a doorway and paint for that to happen. The remaining office area, old office, sped office area, is now being used for the middle school principal and the PEMS clerk. ISS is moving to the old DAP area at the elementary. So Head Start and kindergarten have completely moved to the new and cleaned K-Wing. That's we've been trying to figure out what to call it, and I hope you like K-Wing because that is what Terry Johnson has branded it. I like it. It's got a little ring to it. But if you don't like it, blame Terry. So they're in and settled into K-Wing. We have, since our last meeting, we've got the Head Start office and pre-K have both been moved and set up. At the Lockett Education Center, sped offices have been moved and set up. They are in the east half of the main building. The west half of the main building right now, I don't have this down, but we're using for storage. In the annex, where adult tax office used to be, that's where we moved DAP to. So they're using the whole west side of that building. Because all those classrooms on the west side are interconnected with doorways, so they can move back and forth from room to room. And it was easy to keep them on one side of the building for camera purposes for DAP and not going across the hall and running the cabling. That's kind of going to be a work in progress, but it gives them more space. And the DAP becomes more of an academic area now because we don't have, in the old area we had the center block stalls set up. So this is more conducive to spreading kids out, still keeping them separate from each other, but being able to instruct them and work with them. At the Lockett Center, the gym, we've got it set up for archery. We've talked about that. So they're doing archery there, but the Strutters are also using it after school for practice. So it gives them a dedicated practice area too. And having two things over there doesn't interfere with each other, and it saves us on our other gym space. Storage buildings have been moved to the rear of that property away from other campuses, and the food pantry is using the cafeteria at this time.
I had a question about that. Are they still using the
about to move into the center, or?
They're still using our cafeteria. They had a space in that annex building, and we've, moved them out of there because we're gonna have kids there, and that's not gonna be a mix we want.
I don't know the technical term for what they do, but it's something like some fruit and vegetable type pickup, maybe, not the big pickup that they do.
Okay.
And they're still doing pickups Thursdays in the back of our spot over there, so. But it's not an area where we have kids. The AB kids will be in the annex building. Components that remain, include moving primary playground equipment, getting wood chips from Region 7 Head Start, and setting up the play area. That, we're waiting on the wood chips. Region 7's doing that. That's not gonna cost us. You know, Region 7 runs the Head Start program. Plus, because of all the peculiars of what's required for Head Start and make sure it's exactly right, I'd rather them supply the wood chips than us go out and buy our own. And, we were a little late on that process, and those are supposed to be delivered next week. And Paul and I have talked about, it would take less than a day for us to get moved over. So, starting school without the primary playground in place, but they can still go outside, and there still are some of the apparatuses, some of the smaller apparatuses the Head Start kids can use. Now, our kindergarten kids can use the whole playground because we're not under Head Start rules with them. But that is a work in progress. Other things we've done since our last meeting, control access has been added to the gate elementary and junior high workroom door. We power washed the front awning at the high school, but not the whole front of the high school like we've done in the past. We still need to do that, but we did the front awning because they added the signage down by the gym. And so we wanted that done before the sign got put up. And after our last meeting, we did clean up the brush and limbs. Our guys cleaned up the brush and limbs in the parking lot from the tornado that came through. All right, vendor dependent projects. We still have to add control access to our gate at the bus barn. We also need a motor on that gate. That's not a high priority with everything else we got going on. Terry and I have talked about adding control access to the playground gate at the elementary because we're talking about using that for bus release. And it's a lock and key, but it's not a chain lock and key. It's an old locking the gate key. So we're looking at changing that. That's not a right away thing because that's just a recent thing we've discussed. And if we do that, I'd like for us to probably look at adding an awning out to that walkway. You know, we added a T-awning last year at the playground, so just bringing it to the front if we're gonna use that for bus access. So that's something, as we flesh that out a little bit more, I'll probably get quotes on that and come back and, if we decide to go that, I'll come back to you on that. Maintenance crew projects we got, fence sections at the junior high and elementary, that we put up, need to be painted. We've been painting fences black in some areas. That's a to-do project probably for later in the fall. And repairing the fence along MLK, the parking area that's been grown over. We've been working on cutting the brush back, but long term, before fall's over, we'd like to get that fence repaired. Transportation tech buildings, on 59, we still need to paint the trim there. The junior high workroom door and the new ag shop door we need to paint. And I had to go back to my notes. We have not power washed at the stadium yet or done the treads on the ramps. That will be done before the scrimmage. That is on our agenda. We haven't forgot it. It's just a lot of things have caught up to us. We're gonna be required to put peepholes in our doors that do not have windows or do not have windows beside them. And we'll do that before the November safety audit. And that's a maintenance crew project, but we'll make sure we're doing it the way Officer Pearl needs us to do.
Will that come out of that
that can come out of the safety fund. And, I have safety film additions now. When the window was broke over at the field house, we actually got the screen on the front, looks good. I need to come back on the back of that one window and put the safety film. That hasn't been done yet. And then the new new doors down at the gym, those little slit windows need security film on. So that's to be done. And walk-in gate in the stadium is kind of a pet project I wanted because, to put, to the side of the main entrance where, past the last brick column. So we can have a way for people to walk in and use the track and not have the drive-through gates open. That's a project to get done when we can get to it. It'll probably be after the season now. But, I'm gonna leave that on because I think just in taking care of our stuff, leaving our drive-through gates open is a liability, and I don't want us to do that longer than we have to, so. That's where we're at. A couple things I wanted to note, tomorrow being the first day of school, and I know some of us talked about this individually. With the changes we've made this summer, first day of school, first week of school is always a little bit of chaos anyway. Well, it's gonna be a little bit more now. Jack, Pearl, our principals, Brooke, they've all worked very hard on having plans in place. But we know there's gonna be some chinks in the plan, and there's gonna be some unintended consequences. My ask for y'all is, I know sometimes y'all get first phone calls instead of us. So if you do, take the constructive criticism and let it feed us so we can make adjustments if we need to. Because we don't necessarily think this is gonna be perfect. We want the feedback, and we wanna make it best for our kids and for our citizens. So, I apologize in advance because I know we're all gonna get calls. That includes you too. But just, let it feed our knowledge, and we'll work what we can to improve our situation. Other thing I want to note, we worked all summer one man down on our maintenance crew because of family medical leave, and he's decided to go ahead and resign. Maintenance tech and custodian have all worked extremely hard this summer to get all the big stuff done, but it feels like we play catch up on the small stuff, and that includes grounds. We get behind and play catch up. So Mr. Walker and I started to discuss looking into the feasibility of, is that something we can contract out versus hiring into open maintenance position? What would give us the best return or bang for our buck? And it may not be worth it, but it's definitely worth looking into to see. So we have an open position. Would it be better to invest in contracting out groundwork or filling an open position? So that's something we're gonna start investigating and
So we got 54 acres of grass. That's quite a bit, yes.
Any questions, concerns? All right.
Okay, number 5, we had discussion of the 25-26 proposed budget.
All right, I passed out in front of you a budget printout report, and we're in a little better shape this year than what we were this time last year. And the way this is laid out is our revenues are start out here on the first page and go through the top of the second page, and then our expenditures start and go through page 17. And on page 2, where the revenue totals are, the budget for 25-26 is $15,820,902. And last year, it was $14,703,000. That's $1,172,902 increase. And you'll notice on page 1, that very first row, last year we had the $860,000 deficit. Look across to this year, and zero there. those are the revenues. You can read down through the 25, 26 column and see the numbers, and go to the far left and see the 24, 25 original budget that we adopted last year. And you can see the increases and a few decreases. But that's pretty self-explanatory. And then they, like I say, the expenditures start on page 2. They start out at function 11, and go through function 81. Of course, 11 is instruction. The first number on the expenditures, which is about a third of the way down, that 11 million, right under the revenue number, the 11,898,653. That's our wage number. We don't have the wages. The 6,100 accounts are not in here, which are wages, because we don't have all the holes filled in yet. So what we do is we get the total number and put it there, and then with all the other non-wage numbers, that adds up to our total budget. We'll be getting those in there probably the next week or so.
Do we know what we spent on wages for 24, 25?
Yes, I don't know why, I know I adjusted that number out, I guess, at some point in time.
The 25, 26
Let me
number
see.
is skewed pretty bad because you got all the mandatory raises, and then the de facto mandatory raises for other people in similar positions that the state didn't fund. So it's really not apples to apples. It's gonna be, even though we cut what all we cut, it's still gonna be nearly the same amount. Not quite, but it's gonna be close to the same amount because of the required raises.
So then all the headway we made, we lost.
Not exactly, but kind of. Well, I guess basically the way to characterize that is that the new money the state gave us, the vast majority of the new money is in salary. Some of it mandated, some of it you had to do because you have people that were teachers that are now in positions that are actually above a teacher that would not get the raise. You have teachers making more than those people. So we gave those people the raises too. We didn't get funded for that. So that.
Makes sense.
Okay, and, like I say, continuing on, you can see the increases and decreases, when you compare that, original budget row to the, 25, 26 row. Like, that first number, 18,000 for professional services. Last year was 12,500. It went up, $5,500. The next one went up from 13.5 to 25. And you go on down a little ways and you see where the service center, that 6239 number over on the right is $3,825. Last year it was $27,245. That's because we were able to move a lot of the service center contracts. We were able to move them into 211 because, which is Title I federal fund, because we had decreased some wages over there and made room for some more expenditures. So we were able to move whatever we can, we move into the federal funds, get it out of the general fund to lower our general fund expenditures. So, and you'll see those decreases down through there. And all through there, you'll see increases and decreases where we've adjusted numbers. I know on utilities, we adjust, we look at what we spent last year, and we try to see what's going to happen next year and adjust that. Sometimes it goes up from what it was the prior year, and sometimes it goes down. So those kind of things are happening all through here. But get on over to the page 17, and like I said, we had that, what's that, $1,117,902 more in revenue. We have $406,000 of that is not budgeted yet. We're looking at where we most need that money. And we had $140,000 in here we didn't have last year for a bus. We have $45,000 in here we didn't have last year for a vehicle, an automobile. There's $540,000 in here that the state gave us for that teacher allotment, the pay raises they got. So that takes up part of that $1,117,000. And there's $48,000 in here for a sports staff allotment they gave us that they're requiring us to spend on those wages. There's $80,000 in here that the safety allotment increased by that amount. You know, the legislature took that action and adjusted what we get for the safety allotment. And if you take those numbers, subtracting from 1,117,000, you get a negative $141,000. And like I say, that is from those differences in increases and decreases in those line items, just down through the report. So that's basically it. We're getting $1,117,000 more dollars. Those are the big ticket items I just listed that are utilizing that increase. And the rest of it's just line items in the report. Y'all have any questions on any of that? It is will be a balanced budget, which is much better than what it was last year. Our ending fund balance should be, I'll tell you, Michael, $7,500,000.
7.5 million.
Yeah, right in there, so.
That's where we're at right now.
Kind of where we should end the year at. No questions?
All right, number 7, action item, consideration of setting a date, time, location for the required public hearing regarding discussion of proposed 25-26 budget and proposed tax rates.
I recommend the board set the time, date, location for the required public hearing meeting related to the discussion of the proposed 25-26 budget, along with the proposed M&O and INS tax rate, to be on Thursday, August 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the JISD Administration Building.
Michael, that is in this notice too, those dates and times. So, if we approve this, we will send this notice, to you, and he'll post this in the paper. Those rates and dates and times, all that information.
Make a motion.
I move to approve the date, time, location of Thursday, August 28th, 2025, 6 p.m. at the JISD Administrative Building for the public hearing meeting.
All right, got a motion by Mr. Mono, second by Mr. Mono, all in favor? All right, 6-0. All right, number 8, action item, consideration of the district's property and casualty bids for the 2025-2026 school year.
Okay. You have those in your budget book, but I also passed out,
Michael, hold on a second.
oh, I'm sorry.
You jumped on it. Skip the rate. Tax rate.
Number 7, oh, this was number 7.
You should have done that before the meeting.
So that's for leave and location in the budget for, so action item number 6, we're going back up to consideration of setting a 2025-26 proposed maintenance operations and and sinking tax rates.
Okay, I would recommend the board set a proposed M and O tax rate of 0.6822 cents for the 25-26 school year, which is lower than last year. Further recommend, we set the INS rate of 0.0535 for the 25-26 school year, which is lower than the rate last year. Can't be higher. And, the state compressed the M and O rate again. And then, Mike can explain to you here in a minute about what we're doing on the INS side. It's an advantage for us.
Move to approve the proposed M and O rate at 0.6822 for the 2025-26 school year. I further move to approve the INS debt service tax rate be set at 0.0535 for the 25-26 school year for a total of 0.7357.
Right, got a motion by Ms. Johnson, second by Ms. Glover, all in favor, 6-0. And now we're at number 8, action item, consideration of district property and casualty deeds for 2025-2026 school year.
Okay, you have this spreadsheet in your book, but, I printed it out on, tabloid size, so we could read it, those numbers got kind of small. But on the property and casualty proposal, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 proposals. 3 of them were by Brown Rig, and 1 of them was by RMC. You can see those names across the top of the columns up there. Let's see, and the reason, the first one there, under Brown Rig is, it's got a $10,000 deductible on the, property and casualty. The second one across has a $25,000 deductible. And both of those are with Pete. The third one is with National Union. It has a $10,000 deductible. And then the fourth one was with RMC, and it has a $50,000 deductible. And we have the various coverages listed going down the sheet under those columns, and the amounts that, they proposed on each one of those. If you get down to the very bottom, where the total proposal is, the first one by Pete is $358,917, and that's with a $10,000 deductible on the property and casualty. And these also have a 1%, or 2%, wind and hail, deductible. And then the second one by Pete is $353,919, and it has a $25,000 deductible on property and casualty, other than wind and hail, and then, it also has a 2% on wind and hail. Then the third one by Brown Rig is with a company called National Union. It has a $10,000 deductible. It is for $358,135.
358.
Yeah. They came down 2,000. I had to make, I couldn't remember whether I reflected that in here or not, but I did. I did make that adjustment, so, okay, it's $358,135. And the fourth one by RMC, with the $50,000 deductible, is $319,964. And we're recommending the third one, with Brown River National Union. Even though it's not the lowest, the RMC bid, it has the $50,000 deductible. I called and asked them about it, and they said that is the only deductible they do. So that was not an option to come down, and we had some, some financial issues with this company, that made them not so attractive. So, our recommendation is with, National Union, with Brown Rig, with, $358,135. That one, the reason, we want to go with that one is it has a 1%, wind and hail deductible, which would make a big difference if you had a wind and hail or wind or hail claim. So, and it has a $10,000
two.
Yeah, and it's, 2% is pretty standard on most of the proposals you'll see. So this 1% is, if we were to have that kind of claim, would save us some money.
So we don't have to pay 1% of the total cost of repairs and such. And then isn't the 50,000, isn't that per event?
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing, it's not a one-time $50,000 deductible, it's per event.
So what is the law enforcement policy that's optional down here that Pete had on here, but, National Union doesn't have, and is that something that we need, is that important? Is
Law
it-
enforcement is included in the bid.
Is it
It's just
with-
part of the general liability premium.
With National Union?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's my error, I guess. Just asking if we need it or not, I don't know, like if Jack's gonna get us
Most
in trouble.
definitely need that.
He's kinda shifty.
Do you have a motion?
I move to approve Brown Rig National Union for the district's property and casualty insurance for the 2025-2026 school year.
Got a motion by Mr. Romano, second by Mr. Perry, all in favor, that's 6-0. Right, number 9, action item, consideration of approval of local teaching permit related to business and marketing courses at the high school.
Okay, this is a kind of a standard thing that we've started doing. The state approved for us to approve someone based on their work experience, for our career and tech classes at the high school. And so this is another one, for career and tech, Kendra McCurry, and we've got specific classes that are listed on that, local school district teaching permit that she would teach. And this also allows us to turn on like our CTE funding aspect, which gives us weighted funding for that course.
Move to approve the local teaching permit for Kendra McCurry as presented.
I got a motion by Mr. Romano, second by Mr. Malvin, all in favor, 6-0. Number 10, action item, consideration of approval of the JISD student code of conduct.
Each year, the board of trustees shall adopt a student code of conduct for the district. This is basically the TASB model policy. And, we have, our individual handbooks that are associated with this, but all you guys have to approve is the student code of conduct. And I would recommend that we approve the student code of conduct as presented.
Move to approve 25-26 JISD student code of conduct was presented.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Malvin, second by Mr. Perry, all in favor, that's 6-0. Alright, number 11, action item, consideration of approval of updates to the EIC local academic achievement class rankings.
Okay, these EIC local revisions result in one ranking that determines both local honors and class rank. So there would not be a split rank. And so, that will help us to avoid the situation we dealt with this year.
Anybody have any questions?
I do have a question. To avoid the situation, what will be different? So when will the final?
Okay, so previously, for local honors, we took grades at the end of the third 9-week grading period for local honors. And then at the very end, we recalculated all the grades for number 1 rank, which is associated with that graduate, certificate, the waiver. So how it will be different now we will pull the grades one time. They will be pulled at the end of the 7th week of the fourth 9-week grading period. That way, it will include all the dual credit work that kids do, because we'll get those scores back the first week of May. And it will be an all-inclusive, list of courses. Everybody will be on the same playing field on it, and it will negate the possibility of having 2 different people for those spots.
This will be updated in like a handbook so the kids will know, or they'll be told.
This will be updated in our board policy, and then we will make it known to everybody involved that this is how it will be. And this is something that Dr. Phillips and I have already talked about just having a meeting about how this works.
Will we still, like the previous 14 years, will continue to have that audit?
Absolutely. Every time.
The, only thing I saw on here was in case of a tie, we're going to the third decimal place. Is that strictly just for the valedictorian and salutatory honor? We're gonna
Yes.
take it as far out as we have to take it for the state honor.
It is just for the balance out, and the deal on that is if you do have a tie after 3 decimal places, they'll award you 2 certificates. So you could actually have, if you have a tie after 3 decimal places, you could have 2 people that get a honor graduate certificate.
Cool.
Any other questions? I move-
So the meeting will be like when? Are we thinking about having that meeting to
On
make
the,
the students
on the
aware?
front end of this school year, like
Okay.
soon, we don't have a
Like not-
particular date.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, before we get going, then we'll have grade level meetings and stuff that'll take place too. I don't know exactly what, we may have scheduled as far as academic meetings, but we will get one scheduled and make sure everybody's aware. And we'll put it out that, we'll distribute it.
Okay.
I move to approve the revisions to JISD local as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Martin, second by Ms. Glover, all in favor? 6-0. All right, number 12, action item, consideration of approval of updates to the FNCE local personal communication devices, electronic devices.
Okay, these revisions will ensure our compliance with HB 1481, which is the new law concerning student use of personal communication devices on school property. This is just a verbiage for our policy. Y'all have already seen, our actual policy that the kids will receive and consequences that go along with it. This just gets us in compliance.
I move to approve, go ahead.
Move to approve the revisions to FNCE local as presented.
We'll both second.
I need a third person to second.
We'll second
Mal.
and third, yeah.
Okay, we got a motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Martin, all in favor? That's 6-0. Okay, number 13, action item, consideration of approval of a good cause exception and resolution for the Guardian Program.
Originally, when the legislature had put out there that every campus needs an armed security officer, they allowed school districts such as ours to basically vote in a resolution and a good cause exception with the understanding that we're gonna do what we can to help meet that and fulfill that requirement, which we have done with the Guardian program. Based on this last legislative session, we need to renew that good cause exception and resolution each year. So that is the, what we have in your board books this time, just updated the language to reflect the current legislation. And all it needs is a movement by you guys.
I move to approve the good, anybody have any questions? I move to approve the good cause exemption as presented.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Ms. Johnson, second by Mr. Lamono, all in favor? All right, 6-0. All right, thank you.
Next one.
Okay, action item, consideration of approval, the formation of a safe and sound school program, and approval of each campus school behavior threat assessment team.
This is something that we've been doing, but the legislature has updated a little bit of the language now to push for the Safe and Sound Schools program rather than just the School Behavioral Threat Assessment Team. We have basically put it out where we will create a district-wide team. We just don't have the personnel right now to fulfill a full team from each discipline that the ledge requires or recommends. And so we will put for each campus the same district team, but this just formalizes the language to be in line with the new legislation. Again, it's something that we've been doing, we just need an updated vote on it.
I move to approve the formation of the Safe and Sound Schools program and approve each campus school behavior threat assessment team.
action item, consideration of approval of the duties of JISD peace officers, school resource officers, and security personnel.
This is again just to keep up with current legislation, where we are required to have the school board vote and approve for the listed duties of any police department, security personnel, or SROs that our district may employ, and that will be reflected in the district improvement plan, the student code of conduct, and anywhere else required. So I have drafted our recommended duties as we built the policy for. Just it protects the school from liability of me getting into a position where I have no idea what I'm doing, or other school personnel getting into my position when they have no idea what they're doing. So this is just a good protection blanket for all of us.
Move to approve the duties of JISD peace officers, school resource officers, and security personnel as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Morrow, second by Mr. Marvin, all in favor, that's 6-0. All right, number 16, action item, consideration of approval of the 2025-2026 JISD compensation plan.
This allows the board to approve the JISD compensation plan, which is a yearly requirement.
I move to approve the 25-26 JISD compensation plan as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Marvin, second by Mr. McCurdy, all in favor, all right, 6-0. All right, number 17, action item, consideration of approval of increasing the day trip meal allotment from $8 to 10.
Okay, this allows for the board to adjust for increased prices and to provide a little more flexibility for our kids on trips. And this is something we've talked about a few times before. And, so we've got money to do it, and I think it'd be a good thing.
This will apply to our kids that in the nursing class that go to the hospital as well.
Anybody on the day trip?
I move to approve, I move to increase day trip meal allotment from $8 to $10.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Marlowe, second by Mr. McCurdy, all in favor, that's 6-0. Number 17, action, I'm sorry, 18, consideration of approval of consent agenda.
I recommend the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I got a motion by Mr. Romano, second by Ms. Glover, all in favor? All right, 6-0. All right, number 19, executive. All right, number 19, executive session is provided for by the Texas Government Code, section 55.074, to discuss personnel provided by the Texas Government Code, section 551.076, to discuss the deployment specific occasions for the information of security personnel on devices. Section 551.072, discussing purchases, exchange, release, or value of real property. Section 551.071, consultation with attorney.